Hello. Hi everybody. Just before going live, as always, everything started to go all jerky and slow, but we'll see what goes on. How you all doing? It's Sunday, I don't know what date it is, 14th of June. Welcome to Darkshed Live. It's season 2, episode 2. Hope you're all doing well out there. It's been pretty miserable here today. It's just melting it down with rain, so hopefully it's stopped actually at the moment, but when it gets heavy in here it's really heavy on the roof, so it's very difficult to kind of hear yourself think, let alone really hear me talk. Right. Yeah, I had big plans for today that haven't turned out, but I will show you that soon. I just thought I'd start with these. There we go, that's actually working, amazing. This is what I was working on last time, which was from the Sony 16 podcast a while ago, the groceries challenge, where I captured a load of fruit falling from a bag, and this was the contact sheet that I made. So as you can see, I've got these all scanned in now. In the last show I was just printing them, so you get to see them in detail. As you can see, there were a lot of misses. About 3 or 4 hits with that, and then I did a straight print of one of them like that, and the last experiments were a plain developer using just painting it on. So this was the first attempt, straight developer, MG-Dev 1+9 with a paintbrush, just kind of brushing it on, trying out different strokes and stuff. This is splashing it on, just like from the side, like a brush down the middle, gives like a solid area, and then splashed out to the side. Really like that one in the end. That worked out quite well. And then I mixed the developer with xanthan gum, which is normally used for cooking, I think, for baking, and to thicken it, so I could actually brush it on and see the strokes a lot better. And this was the first attempt at that, which was 1+9, and that took about 10 minutes, maybe a bit more, to actually brush on to get that level of development, because I assume as you're brushing it on, the developer's kind of expiring as you brush on it, so you have to constantly reapply and move fresh developer over it. Then that I tried using a more concentrated developer, so it didn't take as long, and as you can see, like between the two, the blacks are a lot deeper on that one. So I tried a few experiments with that, just brushing it on, just different techniques. So that was obviously side to side. That was creating like a crosshatch effect on it. Can't remember how I did that one. More like circles, I think. And that was it. Like this one actually ended up being my favourite, with the lower concentrate developer and just taking a long time over it. And I want to put that into the still life that I'm doing at the moment, because I actually think it will produce quite a nice effect. I'm going to try on different papers as well. I'm going to try some fibre paper, and I've got some MG art paper as well to try it on, which I think it will give it a really natural and painted look, obviously. So yeah, that's where I got to with those. Today I've been using the same image, and my intention was to, Al, I think you're in the chat, aren't you? Hi Al, how's it going? Yeah, so when we did that darkroom chat live last weekend, you asked the question, does the new Ilford MG5 paper respond to Warmtone developers better than the MG4? And I didn't know the answer. My speculation was it would be, but I didn't know. So I thought, why not give it a go and try it out? And this is where I'm at the moment. A load of prints all looking exactly the same. So I didn't have, let's just pop back to just a second. I didn't have any Warmtone developer. Now there are, well, there's an Ilford Warmtone developer. I think there's a couple of others as well that you can buy kind of off the shelf as liquid solutions to dilute yourself, and I didn't have any. So I had to mix up my own. Now, this is the book I always use as reference when I'm mixing up my own developers for film and for print. I've done it a few times before, tried out different print developers and film developers, some successful, some not. And about a year ago, I mixed up 3 or 4 different ones and did loads of tests comparing one print that I was really working on that I wanted a specific look for, which I'm pleased to say I actually managed to achieve. But they were all long gone. Well, they were kicking around, but I didn't have them labelled or anything. So I had to mix up a new Warmtone developer, and I ended up going for, where is it? So I can't even find it now. Based on the description, here we go. Ilford ID 78, which is a PQ developer for warm black tones. It's a modern PQ warm tone developer, which is very close in its forming to Ilford Neutol, and it works extremely well with modern papers. Now, that by that description, I thought, I'm onto a winner here. This is exactly what I'm after. So I mixed that up to give it a go. It said you could use it at dilutions of 1+1 or 1+3. Now I need to do some more research into that to see if that is actually the same recipe as what's used in the Ilford Warmtone developer you can buy. My initial tests with it were I'm not getting any difference at all. Let me just flip over to this this camera here, and I'll talk you through what I've got. Obviously, you're not going to be able to see this particularly well because of the camera, the compression on YouTube, everything is kind of working against you. But, so this is a straight print on MG5, and this was MG4 both these are using a multi-grade dev developer, okay? I didn't adjust the contrast or the exposure times for the old paper to get them looking the same. I just wanted to keep things quick and simple, just as a kind of a comparison for the developer, not for the contrast or anything like that. So that was that. And then I used the Warmtone developer that I mixed up. So that's these two here. Now, I can't see a huge difference between either of those or either of those. In fact, this one does look a little warmer. Like fundamentally, the new paper is a little warmer than the old paper. But these two differences are not great at all. This I tried at, see, I made little notes on the wall as well to try and reference. That's the same developer as that, but with a longer development time. And yet again, it is a little bit warmer. From what I've read, the dilution and the length of time that you're developing for makes a huge difference to the final tone of the print. So I thought, given that, I thought, well, maybe it's just because it's RC paper. So I thought I'd try it with the fibre paper. Here are the fibre prints. Again, now I've got them next to each other. I can see that that one is slightly warmer than that. Probably not enough to come through on the camera. And actually, let me try and bring up this camera. See if this works. Is it going to work today? Oh, it kind of is. Right, so hopefully, this was, the next stage was using Warmtone paper itself, the Ilford fibre Warmtone paper. And so that was the straight with the multigrade dev, and then this was with the Warmtone developer. And hopefully you can see that actually it's made a fair amount of difference on that one. Again, I was just using the same exposure settings as I was for that one there, the MG5. It all gets quite complicated when you've got all these variations going on. So as you can see, it actually affect, like, out of all of them, it was the Warmtone paper that it seems to have had the largest impact on. But I'm a little disappointed, to be honest, because the effect just isn't as great as I thought it was going to be. So I need to carry on doing some more experiments with this. I think it's down to the dilution and the length of time that I'm developing them for. Oh yeah, I did some other. So I actually found some of the Warmtone developer that I used last year, which was a different recipe from the darkroom cookbook, and that's these two here. And they are actually warmer than the current developer that I'm using. So I think it's a combination of paper type, the actual developer used from the ones that are available in here, and just kind of experimenting and finding out which ones respond better with the different paper types. There are a lot of references in here to different papers. I don't fully understand different paper types. When I say I don't fully understand them, I don't understand them at all. I just know that there are different paper types and they react differently to different chemicals. So that's definitely something that I need to do a bit more research on, and work out. There's just so many different variables that are involved. It's just kind of finding some consistency, all that. So there we go. I have recorded myself mixing up one of these, because you know what, I couldn't find anything on YouTube about mixing up your own developer from raw chemistry. So I will hopefully put that out there at some point. And that's it, unfortunately. Like I could carry on printing some more, but it's such a slow process. I mean, you can't really say anything. I think it's going to be best if I work through these, do some more tests, and probably scan them in so you can see the differences a bit better on screen. And as always, I will post them to my social media channels. So check them out at the Darkshed, and yeah, just keep your eyes peeled, and I'll put them there. And then hopefully next time I'll be able to actually show some direct results between different paper types, and consistent. The consistent developer. It's all the fun and games, isn't it? All the fun and games. Right. So on that note, it's very, look at that, 12 minutes today. Let's just. Oh, Al's still here. Let's just bring in his comment saying that he looks forward to me mixing up some raw chems. Yeah. Yeah, like I say, I know people used to do it a lot from browsing old forums. There's loads of conversations about it and different recipes to use, but nobody seems to really be kind of out there showing the process these days. I think it's so easy to buy chemicals, and cost wise I don't know if it makes sense, but control wise it does. Like the tests I did with for controlling contrast and the tone, the differences I could get with mixing up my own developer compared to just using off the shelf ones. Admittedly, I've only used 2 or 3 off the shelf ones. It was just phenomenal. So to have that level of control and make something that's unique for you, I think is a wonderful thing. And it's not that hard to do. I think you've got to be careful with some of the chemicals, because they're quite dangerous according to the warnings on them. But I wear a mask, goggles, gloves, just take extra care when using them. And of course the raw chemicals have a massively long shelf life as well, which is quite nice. So yeah, I'll put that online at some point. And then hopefully I'll get to a point where I've got one that works really well, so you can see the differences a lot better. So unless there are any other questions or comments, I will call it a day today. And yeah, hopefully I'll be back next Sunday, and probably try and line up some sort of darkroom live chat again. If anybody wants to get involved, then get in touch and we'll hook your darkroom in, and we'll do some sort of community darkroom chat. Till then, take care of yourselves, and yeah, see you all soon. Bye.